For this stretch, you're gonna want to try and find a surface that you can kind of lean on, maybe around hip height or so, that you could kind of put a little weight on without it moving. Um, let so you're kind of gonna be. Let me see if I can demonstrate. So if your surface is right in front of you here, you're kind of going to be putting your weight on it and just using your hands to kind of let your mid body release right here. So if you have something that's maybe around this height that you could put a little weight on, that would be ideal. If you can't tell, there's a little support right down here. So I'm on kind of the side of the couch, which is about just below crotch height for me. But you could do it on anything up to, maybe this height or so. And so what you're going to want to do is keep your legs straight, but just lean forward and get your weight evenly distributed between your 2 feet and your 2 hands, so that you can kind of push yourself kind of forward and back a little bit to kind of balance your weight using just your hands.
You want all the weight on your hands, basically, or most of it.
Yeah. You could kind of maybe think, we'll start, say, about 50-50 between your hands and your feet. So if you kind of imagine where your center of weight is, would be kind of directly down to the floor from your chest. And I want you to kind of scan your body. We're going to be focusing on this one ever between your feet and about your shoulders, along the back of your body. So I want you to kind of scan from your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, thighs, everywhere up through your belly, up to your shoulders. This is kind of the area of focus of this stretch. So I like this one a lot because it will kind of stretch whatever area in between those is the one that's most interfering with your range of motion, with being able to bend over. You can think of this kind of like as an abbreviated bend forward, where you, instead of having to support yourself while bent over using your lower body, you can use your hands and your arms, the upper body, to kind of let the lower body and your core let go a bit. So you want to kind of think of your body is just kind of like a limp machine from the shoulders down. So if you could think of like you've got a hinge at your waist and you've got hinges at your ankles, and just think of how those points of your body don't have to do any work to stay at this position. See if you can feel that being true, so that you don't have to tighten anything in your spine, anything in your legs. Sometimes I'll like to kind of even just release my knees forward just a tiny little bit, just to feel that, hey, I don't have to do any work to keep my legs straight in this position, because gravity kind of does it for you. Now, of course, those hinges at the waist and the ankles aren't going to be, your perfect oil hinges. They're going to have little hitches that'll keep them from being able to just move freely. But you want to think of all those sensations, anything that interferes with the idea of these being ideal hinges, that these are unnecessary and counterproductive muscle tension. They're not required to hold yourself up. Now, can you tell me what you're feeling in this position here?
I'm pretty loose, except for my neck. That could just because of my position. I might not actually have my hand wide enough or something. Not sure on that. But everything seems pretty loose except for the neck. The knees, I think I did have my knees kind of locked, but I loosened them up when you said that, and I realized, yeah, it's not that much more effort to just keep myself erect, put the knees back a little bit. I guess mostly the neck, I feel a little tension. Wondering if maybe my position is wrong or hands wide enough.
Tension in your neck? Okay.
Yeah, just keeping my neck at I don't know. I feel like I'm having to keep my neck supported a lot.
Okay.
If I let it fall in like this,
Sure.
I guess yeah, it's just my neck keeping it straight like this.
Okay. Now, one thing you want to kind of,
So this one's pretty easy for me, I guess. I do toe touches.
cool. Now, what do you feel in between your shoulders and your feet? Do you feel any tightness in anything there?
Just a little bit in the lower back.
Lower back? Okay. All right. Let's focus on that lower back area right now. Because usually the first thing that we feel along our area of interest, that's going to be the first thing that's going to start to grab and start to interfere with range of motion. So our lower back being tight is going to mean muscles down, even as far as your ankles, are going to have to tighten up to compensate for those. So if your lower back is saying, okay, I need to grab, I'm not feeling safe. So it will tighten up, and that'll reduce range of motion along that whole path all the way down to your feet. So our goal is to see if we can let that area loosen up a little bit. Now, I want you to keep your focus on that area of the lower back where you feel it. And then I want you to use your hands a little bit and kind of push yourself up, maybe like an inch or so that your shoulders are up a little higher. There's a little less of an overall bend to your body if you can.
Okay.
And do you still feel that part of your lower back tight?
No, not really.
What was that?
No, not really.
No, you don't feel it? Okay. Now let's kind of see now if we can approach that area a little slower, a little gentler, so that when we know that, hey, if we go another inch downward, it's probably going to tighten up again. So let's try going just maybe a half an inch closer to where we were. Now start becoming really aware of your breathing. Your lower back is a major area that helps with getting good breaths. So if you can kind of encourage it to really be involved in your breath, that can start to make you aware of tension that you might not be aware of even at a more shallow stretch than we were at before. So use your inhale to kind of make your belly and your lower back kind of expand. And then kind of exaggerate that exhale to kind of let it deflate a little bit and see if it can get smaller so that your lower back is narrow on that exhale. Do you feel any of the tightness there now?
No, not like before.
Okay. What do you feel at this point?
Nothing. Everything seems pretty smooth. Pretty relaxed. I think.
Cool.
Just my neck, and my hands. I think they're just sort. They're like the weak parts of my body. Anything I do hurts my neck.
Okay. Interesting. I haven't run into the neck one before with this.
Yeah, I sit here for 13 hours without moving and play video games. It is, and everything hurts my neck. I'm not very right now.
I didn't catch that last part.
Very unhealthy right now. My neck is getting traumatized by almost every lifestyle decision I make.
Okay.
So if you can support it for that long, I just need a break real quick.
Yeah. I was just gonna suggest let's just go back to a standing pose for a little bit. Let everything rest a bit there.